Way better, way better. See, no, there was no music. It
Yeah,
was pretty clean.
definitely better. I
All
feel
right,
like
guys.
it
Well,
also lagged less.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another weekly crypto market recap. This is number 13, and yeah, it's been a very exciting week. I know everybody's really excited about specifically Ethereum because of everything that happened with the merge and everything. I mean, we could just go right to it.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of make a quick side note about that, I think actually it was almost too good that not really a lot happened. In the sense that so
Hmm,
much could have gone wrong. Um,
that's
but
very true.
I mean, it seems like nothing really did go wrong. So yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
pretty good.
yeah, I heard there was like 250,000 people on the live stream. Pretty crazy,
Two
you know?
hundred and fifty thousand.
Yeah, dude. And like
Wow.
it's yeah, like it's really interesting because like I know other people have mentioned this, but it's very true. Like even with like when Bitcoin launched and everything, like there wasn't that many people like even
Yeah.
aware of
No. No.
Bitcoin. And then
Exactly.
like and then this is like 250,000 people watching at the same time. This new upgrade for Ethereum, like it's pretty cool. It's really
Yeah.
exciting. It's really great to see the community coming together for such a big event like this. And yeah, like it went off without a hitch, no problems, completely smooth. I mean, it makes sense kind of because like they did a bunch of like launches on test nets and just trying to
Yeah.
make sure 100% that there's gonna be no problems once they really fully merge and everything. But it's really great to see that everything went smoothly. And like Susso also like makes a great point about like right now the participation rate on the beacon chain is like above 99%. So it's really great to see that like like people are not only like all like was watching the live stream, but they were like already upgrading everything, getting everything like like ready for this new upgrade because like it just changes absolutely everything in this space. And it's really exciting to see. I want to know where we're going to be in the next couple of years, and this is just the beginning for upgrades in regards to
Yeah.
Ethereum. I know we
I
covered
mean,
it in previous live streams.
yeah. What's the other ones? I think the
It's like
first,
Surge, Verge,
yeah, search,
Purge.
purge, splurge, something like that. It's like
Yeah, exactly,
calm down
exactly,
with the names, Vitalik.
exactly. Yeah, and man, I really can't wait for when it like when they can process 100,000 transactions per second. That's really going to be very exciting because like
Oh
I
yeah.
know like we talked about that it's just like what's going to be like the what do you call like the investors of
Like
Solana.
what
So
like the VC firms, you mean, or
'Cause-
what?
no, I just meant like everybody like in general because you know how like in Ethereum it's like Ethereans or something like
Ah,
that.
right. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if there's really a name for people who invested in Solana.
That's funny though, you said VCs. Oh
Yeah.
shoot.
Oh, I didn't
Oh.
know what you meant.
Oh shoot. I mean that's pretty close. A majority that did invest is VCs.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. That's hilarious. No, but yeah, like I want to know what their argument is gonna be, and it's not gonna be much because it's just gonna be like, the argument at that point is gonna be like, whether the security is better or not, and I highly doubt it's gonna be better than Ethereum at that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
I
crazy.
mean, I think if you look at a lot of the chains um, that were active in the last year or so, or let's say the last 2 years, maybe
Hmm.
even, I think you can see they all have their problems.
Yeah.
Or to be fair, I haven't figured out exactly what it is or what it could be with Avalanche yet. Um,
Hmm.
but if you look at Binance Smart Chain, yeah, it's super fast and it's pretty cheap. but it's super centralized and there are a lot of scams.
Right.
I mean, Solana, yes, it's super cheap and fast, but I mean, you have downtime like all the time. Like, okay, maybe not all the time, but like more than,
Majority.
yeah. I mean, not even a
Well, not
majority, right?
yeah,
But
but a good amount
more,
of the time.
yeah, more than is desirable. And I think I've said
Exactly.
this in previous streams, right? Like one of the reasons I think for using blockchain is the convenience with which you can do transactions, and
Mm,
a big part of that, for, at least for me, is especially if you're talking about layer twos on Ethereum, right? That you can do transactions any time of day or night, doesn't matter if it's a work day or not, and the other person or the receiving address will receive it like pretty fast. Whereas with a
yeah.
bank, um, you cannot send transactions in the weekend, or at least not on a personal account. Like on a business account it's different, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, but you get what I'm saying, right? But
Right. Right.
basically, if you have this downtime on Solana and you cannot even um, do whatever kind of transactions you want to do, then why are you even using a blockchain, right? Is it then only kind of the sort of the Ponzi casino aspect? Is that the appeal of it, or um, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's obviously then not the sort of I mean, not even necessarily the decentralization, but the immutability is not really there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not really appealing to me. And then, like I said, to be fair, Avalanche, I've never had problems with. I've always had pretty good experiences with Avalanche. Um, but kind of my point would be that, like, yeah, most of the major chains we've seen some sort of problems with in one aspect or the other.
Yeah.
Not saying like they're all shit or anything. They definitely have their use cases, um, but it's they have trade offs, and that's totally fine. But I think it becomes pretty hard when Ethereum catches up to the sort of to the scalability aspect, or the
Yeah.
scalable in the sense that they can handle a lot of transactions um, that they now cannot really do, right? I think then the selling point for the other chains becomes weaker, because if Ethereum through rollups, for example, can also do a lot of transactions for super cheaply, then what is kind of the selling point of a Solana um, over, let's say, Arbitrum? And at that point, I think
Exactly.
the selling point is only really the ecosystem anymore, which, to be fair, could be a pretty good selling point. But yeah, to be fair, I would say that most of the developers are still um, on Ethereum, or like
Oh no. Yeah.
very EVM focused. And I think the only way that would change is if there is maybe like a super easy language to learn, um,
Exactly.
that developers can learn way more easily than Solidity. Because from what I read online, Solidity is still kind of a pain to work with. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, no, I agree. Like, why would a developer that's already familiar with Solidity go and try to build on like Solana or any other chain that doesn't support Solidity? It's gonna be another hurdle that they have to get through just to then build something.
yeah,
It's But yeah, I agree. Like like at that point, it really is just like about the ecosystem and like what it has to offer you, and like how would you evaluate how would you value it over others is just is based on that. Because like if I want to use specific things in Ethereum and then go and use specific things in Solana, then I value both you know equal. It just
yeah,
depends on which offers me. more essentially. And if I get everything that I need from Ethereum, then I'm obviously going to value Ethereum more than I value Solana. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, bro. Like I'm like everybody was. I was watching like a bunch of videos like about like in the like about the merge, just people talking about the merge and everything, and like everybody was just so nervous, and like it was
Right.
just like, it's like I get why you're nervous because you're not in in the core development team, and you see what's going on and all that, but like the real ones that I feel like should be extremely nervous is the core development team. Like they're
Yeah.
like, like imagine like, oh shit, they missed this one bug and the entire merge just failed, and it's like everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck,
Yeah, I mean,
But,
to be fair, um, I do think kind of the consequences of that are somewhat overstated, because you could just
hmm,
decide to just pick, let's say, I don't know, let's say maybe an hour before the merge, right? Or it doesn't even have to be an hour. It could be like just the last block before the merge, basically, and say
yeah,
like, all right, we fucked up here. The chain is going to continue from here on out
right,
until we figured out what the problem was and we fixed that, right? So I
yeah,
do kind of think it is a little bit overblown, but um, obviously you want it to go well, because if it's, yeah, somewhere in between, then obviously things can get messy pretty quickly.
very.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad everything went well.
No, same. And also another note, um, this is a great reminder because especially with like the merge is finally here and everything's running smoothly. You don't need 32 Ethereum to run a validator. Like you
Yeah,
don't. Like, if you want to earn, from running a validator, then you will need 32 Ethereum. And then even at that point, that's just talking about solo validator. You can go to Rocket Pool and set up a validator with them, and you only need 16. And at the same time, you're also earning the Rocket Pool token as an incentive. So you could call it like liquidity mining for running Ethereum validators, and it's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, hopefully, hopefully we see more validators, obviously,
Oh
because
yeah,
I mean, the more people, the better in terms of decentralization. So
I
yeah,
agree. People need to stop staking with Lido. They need to start using Rocket Pool. Definitely.
yeah. I mean, first of all, it's easier. There's a lower barrier of
Mm-hmm.
entry, and you don't support the biggest of stakers, so, or staking
Yeah.
entities. So yeah, definitely agree there.
Yeah, and then this is pretty much the admissions like the supply that's being printed of Ethereum currently, and you can see the issuance goes from 3.8% per year to 0.21% per year, and
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Like
So
you could,
maybe just to clarify, like the white dotted line is
yeah,
Ethereum issuance under proof of work, and then the blue line at the bottom is the issuance under proof of stake. So
yep,
yeah, right now, under proof of work, since the merge, there would be almost 56,000 ETH added to the circulation. But if you now switch over to the current proof of stake model, it's only 3,000, which
yep,
might still seem like a lot. Um, but I think if I'm not wrong, I think if you scroll down, you can also see that basically the sort of um, the threshold for whether you burn or add new ETH to the supply is somewhere around 15 Gwei, I think. 14 or
mm,
15. Yeah, I think 15 Gwei.
yeah,
Um, and right now we're obviously in a bear market, and there's not much activity on chain happening.
right.
So there's definitely new supply being added um, to the total ETH supply, because yeah, we're under 15 Gwei, regularly. So if you need to
Yeah,
do any kind of transactions, now would be a good time to do them. Um,
I
but I
agree.
think, but I think, yeah, I think last year we got as high as, I think I've seen it as high as 1200 way, right? So that's that's definitely like the exception on the busiest of days, I would say.
Yeah,
But it goes to show, I don't I don't think honestly last year I've ever seen a day under 20 Gwei.
yeah, it was so rare. You probably have to like like transact in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah, and even then, I think on average, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. So maybe if I'm talking out of my ass, then someone correct me. But I think on average, at least from memory, it was always around between, let's say, between 80 and 100 Gwei, right? So
Mm,
then, yeah, then you're definitely constantly burning supply. And right now, it's already not that much issuance. Like you have point 23% inflation per year,
mm,
which is, yeah, obviously not a lot. Like we, even monetary inflation is worse than that, right? Like I think yeah, I think the official numbers are something like 8%.
yeah,
Um,
the
but
official quote
yeah,
unquote.
I mean, of the official numbers are already bad, but I think you could easily double or triple that number
Yeah,
to get a far more accurate
100%.
sense of what the actual inflation numbers are. And even in some categories, it's even worse, right? Like I've read
Yeah,
um, kind of a random example, but like I've read complaints from people in Canada who were saying like, yeah, it's just every week it groceries are getting more expensive. And I've also
jeez.
noticed this where here in Europe, like I remember a carton of eggs of around, I think 12 eggs used to be, I mean, maybe something like maybe a bit above a euro, right? Like probably if you
Mm,
find them at a cheap place, you could buy around, let's say 10. Yeah, I think you could buy, let's say 10 eggs for around a euro. And now it's like, I think you buy buy them for €2.50 or something like that. So,
damn.
so yeah, it's a complete lie that they say like, yeah, there's I mean, here it's even worse than the US, but I think here the official numbers are something like 12%. But I don't know where they're getting that number from, but that's just
Yeah,
completely inaccurate. So um
completely.
yeah, like
Yeah, dude.
having an
It's
asset that's only 0.2% inflation in a bear
exactly.
market, and that will be most likely deflationary in a bull
Yep.
market, that's pretty attractive. As like right now you might think it's not that attractive yet because it's still super volatile, and I would definitely agree um, to some extent with that. Like you can't use ETH as money like how you would use dollars or euros, for example, right now,
Right.
because it fluctuates too much. So I would definitely agree with that. But if ever Ethereum were to get to such a stable point that it isn't so volatile anymore, then having an asset where the supply um, is basically only inflating by, in the worst case, because I mean, okay, we, it's kind of speculation to say this is the worst case, but I think we're pretty close to a worst case from a market perspective, right? Like I don't think
Yep.
um I think we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top, obviously.
Of
um
course.
yeah, so if you're in a worst case scenario already almost not inflating, then I don't think uh, I don't think it will look bad in a bull scenario.
No, I agree. I agree. We gotta someone post commented. Well, you're our first comment.
Oh
How's it going,
shit!
Trendy? Yeah. They said, hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
But yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Even just looking at Bitcoin's like the emission is like 1.72% every year.
Yeah,
You know, like it's really good to see that Ethereum's under that, and like if it does, like in a bull market, when it does actually, when in the bull market it would be deflationary, then it would definitely be a hedge. It would definitely be a hedge against inflation, just in a general sense. If you,
yeah,
especially if you start saving your money now in Ethereum and stake, like, and then running a validator, yeah, 100%, you can, it's a hedge against inflation even at this moment. So I agree. Like it could be very interesting to see even in the bull market where the price of Ethereum would be.
yeah. I mean, it's still a risk asset, but
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Let's see. It definitely has pretty good fundamentals. So at least from a crypto perspective, it's looking pretty good. And also, what I
Hmm.
like is that it's infrastructure, right? That's also
Yeah,
why I like something like Chainlink. And
yeah, I
um,
agree.
yeah,
No,
it's kind of critical infrastructure. So it's not like it can get it can get as easily replaced as maybe, let's say,
right.
some decks, right, or something similar.
I agree. I 100% agree right there. Yeah, and that's of course as soon as the merge like happens, they finalize everything went smooth. A bunch of people start posting the FUD talking about, oh yeah, proof of stake assets are looking more like securities, and this is what Gensler's is saying. I mean, I don't know. I can't. I don't. I'm not a legal expert. I can't really go ahead and tell you whether or not it is or not. But like,
Yeah,
there's always going to be this level of FUD going on, especially after a big like upgrade like this.
yeah, me neither. Like, I'm also not a legal expert or anything, so I and especially not U.S. law, but um,
Right.
I don't know. It sounds kind of like the new China mining ban, but
Yeah. No. Like it's just like even China, they say they're banning it, but in behind closed doors, they're the ones that's just mining
mining
themselves, like
relentlessly.
literally like dominating the hashing power. So it's you could take that with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna say Gensler is like running like some Ethereum validators or something,
That would
but
be
like
funny and also very surprising. But yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
But it's definitely going to be interesting to see where we are, especially with regulations. So I mean, I hope they don't regulate proof of stake assets like securities, because like not even not like not every proof of stake asset is the same. You know, like
I mean,
it's
so also, how would they even stop it, right? Or I
exactly.
think the what's always kind of the FUD is about unregistered securities, right? Because a security in and of itself is not an illegal thing or something, but
Hmm.
like unregistered securities are, I believe.
Yeah,
Um, but then that, like, the term unregistered security implies kind of that someone would have to register a security if you want it to be legal, right? But then who would even register Ethereum? Like, are you gonna ask Alec to, like, hey, come over here, register Ethereum? Like, that isn't even possible when
right.
there's no official Ethereum organization, right? Like, there's like the
Exactly.
Ethereum Foundation, for example, is not. They couldn't stop Ethereum if they wanted. It's not like they could turn off some power button that would
Just flip a
magic.
switch.
Yeah, exactly. Magically stop Ethereum or anything. So
Yeah.
it seems kind of ridiculous to me.
No, yeah. This is. I mean, they just. Like, there just needs some. There needs to be some proper education. Like that's really like that's all that they just need to understand that this is completely different, and there is like of course like some of these Ponzi's you can call it. That's pretty much just posting. I mean not posting. I just seen social comments display here. Oh, I didn't know that they display the comments right on screen. But yeah, like it's not like some of these Ponzi's that's like, oh yeah, we're offering 100% APY, come stake. Like yeah, you could figure out how to regulate those. That makes a lot more sense, you know. But like, yeah, something like Ethereum, something like Chainlink, those, you know, those, that's completely different, completely different. And on that note about Chainlink, like, you know, like Chainlink's proof of concept with the Deco technology is pretty exciting to see them, possibly enabling a whole DeFi 2.0 craze in the future, where it's like under collateralized loans, and that sounds pretty cool. And like even just the idea of using Chainlink to be able to verify funds in a bank account, as I mean, who else is doing that? That
Yeah,
opens up the possibilities.
yeah. I mean, I think I think even bank accounts or under collateralized loans are not even necessarily the most exciting thing to me, in the sense that
Mm,
um, what I do think is two things, right? With regards to 2 points, like first of all, um, basically to be able to do something like that, you would need to be able to take legal action
yeah,
against someone if they don't repay the loan.
right.
And that requires quite a complicated legal framework on a state level
Hmm.
that does take into account DeFi. So to kind of enforce that is still, I think, some time away.
Yeah,
Um, like I said, you need to be able to enforce it, because otherwise people will just um, people will, if they can get away with it somehow, try to get loans that are under collateralized and then just not repay them, right? Because if there's no
yeah.
kind of action taken against them, then it's basically just free money, and people will abuse that. But the second thing is, okay, so then let's say we're in a future where it is enforceable to take legal action against someone who doesn't repay their loan. Then it's kind of like, okay, so now you basically made banks on the blockchain. Like, what is really the difference between this and just going to your local bank and getting a
Right.
loan, right? So I think DECO technology in and of itself is super interesting, but I'm not sure the under collateralized loans are necessarily the most interesting application that they can come up with.
No, yeah, that's just like the lowest hanging fruit, and that's why
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting. Cause like, man, like this wasn't even like thought of as possible, like even a year ago. We
yeah,
were
yeah,
all, we were just happy with being able to just deposit our assets into Aave and take a loan against it. Like that was exciting. And now
yeah,
this is
yeah,
this is
exactly. I
really
mean,
cool.
like you said, it's just the first step and the low hanging fruit, kind of. So
Hmm.
it's understandable that they're doing it, and I'm also not saying nobody should do this. I think it's maybe even good to do this, because people can kind of see, like, oh yeah, we see the similarities with TradFi, and maybe
Hmm.
that gives people in TradFi also a little bit more confidence.
Yep.
But to me, this is just not the most interesting use case. Where I think it gets more interesting is if you get kind of selective disclosure with regards to digital identities, right? Where
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you
That
can
that's that takes it to a whole new level.
yeah, you can think of so many applications, right? You can think of, I mean, medical applications.
Yep.
You can think of, let's say let's say betting, right? You could say, all right, I want to prove that I'm, let's say, okay, so let's say there are maybe countries where betting is illegal, and I think most countries where betting is legal, you have to be at least 18 years or older. Maybe in the States it's 21, I could imagine, but maybe it's
Hmm.
18, I don't know. But you could basically verify digitally, like, yeah, I'm from from, let's say, X country where betting is not illegal, and I'm also 18 years or older,
Right.
but you don't know from which country I am. Only that I'm from a country where betting is not illegal, and you also know that I'm 18 years or older, but you don't know exactly what my age is. And
Hmm.
besides these two things, you know nothing about my identity, right? You don't know my name, you don't know my social security number, anything like that. Whereas nowadays, for most kind of ID verification things, you still have to make, let's say, a photo or a video of your ID, which is understandable because you cannot. Right now, there's not an easy way to do that. Like you cannot
Yeah.
just say, "All right, you don't need you don't need the photo in my passport, and you only need, let's say, the social security number, and you don't need my name, whatever." There's not an easy
Hmm.
way to do that, as at least as far as I know. But through something like DECO, you could.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, yeah, like even they touched on it in the conclusion as well. Is like this deco also enables the possibility of being able to build up this on-chain like credit worth like credit score essentially,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like that takes it like it takes the idea of under collateralized loans or anything in regards to finance to a whole new level, because it's not
yeah,
limited to just like one application. It's like it spans through many applications, and like that's really exciting because like I mean, this is probably something that was like trying to like they were trying to like not just chain like the many people were trying to figure out, because they understand that once it's figured out and they apply the solution, like it just enables a bunch of things. And yeah,
yeah. And
like you said, this is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see where we're at in the
yeah, and
future.
even with regards to the credit worthiness, right? Like I know there's been some talks. I don't know the details about it, but I know there's been some talks um, of discrimination with regards to credit
Yeah,
worthiness. So that could be, um, I imagine that could be race based, but like we've talked about, just like we were talking about this earlier, right? That
yeah,
crypto companies couldn't get a bank account, so
yeah.
then you could just say, or you could disclose basically your credit score, and the bank could see, all right, yeah, this person is completely good for whatever they want to do,
Right.
um, but not disclose anything else, and then you basically completely eliminate this possible discrimination aspect on whatever kind of ground it is,
I agree.
and then your that would lead to a provable, more meritocratic outcome, and that's always good because then you're actually judging people based on uh, yeah, like on their skills, on their credentials, right? Not on,
Almost important. Exactly.
yeah, exactly, on what's important. You're not judging them based on um, do they belong to the right group, whatever is deemed right, or do they
Exactly.
are they in the right line of business or whatever, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. No, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah, and I just, right before we just end off the stream, like I just wanted to briefly go and look at Teller. This is relatively new. This they don't even have a token. I mean, I'm happy that they don't have a token, because as it is right now, they don't need a token, and that's great because like
Yeah.
I'm tired of like
Useless
people.
tokens.
Exactly, like and like yeah, I suggest anybody that watches this, watching this right now or are gonna watch this in the future, to check them out, because I like even right now they only have 7 markets, and this is in Polygon, but they also have. Oh, let me close that out. Almost close everything. Oh my goodness. But yeah, they also have Ethereum, so like you could definitely be able to like not worry about gas fees if you want to just you know go on Polygon. Then there's no problem. I mean, even right now the gas fees is nothing with Ethereum, but
Yeah.
in the future, yeah, this is definitely something to consider. And like what I like to see, like something like this, like being able to see like USDC homes, you can be able to like just show that you have like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you could be able to take a loan and to buy a house. That's honestly pretty cool to see. And like, not many people are even onto this. And like, I know there's centralized like parties are implementing this, but like, I'm glad to see something like Teller actually doing it in a more decentralized fashion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever we can do to make it more decentralized, right? I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even want to go into any more detail about the shenanigans at the bank today, but it was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad customer experience.
Yeah, see, this is exactly why we need all. We don't. Yeah, like it's not even like the idea of a bank is like it depends on which bank you go to, and then it depends on who works at the bank. There's like so many like factors that go into place on how your experience may go, or like what you even be able to do and what offers they can offer you. Like it all varies, based on their bias or whatever. And like something like DeFi, it just changes everything. So I really do suggest people just to get into DeFi because like and like it may not be like what it is, what you think like what you see with traditional finance right now, but we definitely are getting there. I mean, even the technology that Chainlink has with Deco is definitely going to enable us to get to that point. But yeah, definitely a
Yeah,
great note to end it on.
yeah,
I suggest everybody joining us on Wednesday. We're gonna have a Twitter Spaces, and we're gonna just talk about more things crypto. And I would love to see the community join and also take part in the conversation. So can't wait to see you there.